Hey there, guys. Welcome back to a brand new Flick Pick live show, late night edition. This is it. Don't get scared now. By the way, if you haven't picked up one of these bad boys, link down below if you guys want to look magical and mystical like myself. But there's a main topic I want to talk about today before we dive into the questions and we talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. And that's the fact that earlier today, if you went to HBO Max and you felt like watching Tom and Jerry, and I don't know why you would ever feel inclined to watch Tom and Jerry with your own free will, but if you did, you might have been pleasantly surprised by an accidental leaked Zack Snyder's Justice League that was showing on HBO Max earlier today. A lot of people caught a glimpse of this. A lot of people were claiming that they saw maybe half the movie or an hour of the movie and then it was shut off. And then they went back to Tom and Jerry once again to see if they could restart the Snyder Cut of Justice League. And, well, it wasn't there anymore. And so I haven't been able to find anyone or confirmed anyone that's actually seen the entire movie. And I think it might have been pulled within the first hour or so. Now, if anyone has the movie, rest assured it will probably be leaked on online at some point tonight. But real quick, don't spoil anything, guys, in the chat if you have seen it. And but the biggest spoiler is Iron Man dies. There, I said it. But yeah, I just think this is crazy. Like, out of all the things that could happen, how did this happen? Someone's getting fired. How do you accidentally leak your biggest exclusive for your streaming service that you have with Tom and Jerry? I don't know. I feel like that someone hacked into this. Someone purposely did this. There's no way this was a complete accident. I want to know what you guys think of this down below. Now, with all that said, I did find about 10 minutes of the movie when I searched the dark crevices of the internet. And I did see about 10 minutes of the film. And I did this for research purposes, okay? I do want to watch the film on my 65-inch OLED TV when it finally comes out next week. But yeah, I saw some Steppenwolf redesign stuff, and that was about it. I will say I watched this with cell phone footage that someone recorded, and it looked okay. Like, I don't know. Steppenwolf sort of looked like he was copy and pasted in there, but that's not a fair assessment. The big news is the fact that it was just simply leaked today. It just something you knew something had to go wrong with this release. There was too much hype, too much conversation surrounding this movie. And in all honesty, it's like this is like the most controversial film of 2021. I don't know why, but it simply is. It's a comic book movie, but there's so much controversy surrounding this movie. And I'll be honest, I'm afraid to review this movie. I'm afraid. I know how YouTube is. It's a very fickle place, and I know a lot of people are treating this movie as a religion, and that's okay. I get it. I get hyped up for movies coming out too, and I'm afraid unless I give this movie an A+ or 5 out of 5, and I just feel like I'm gonna get so much hate on my review of this movie. But hey, maybe it'll be the best movie ever. All right. Chime in. Let me know what you guys think about this. Do I have slow mode on? Oh, I do. Okay, well, I'm too stupid to fix it. Yeah, guys, share your thoughts on this. I think it does something at least positive for the movie's release next week. And that's it creates a lot of buzz. It has a conversation about the movie. And keep in mind, even if the first hour of this movie was leaked, it's a 4-hour movie. So there's 3 more hours of stuff that no one's probably seen. Unless someone somehow magically got the entire movie and they downloaded it, which would be intriguing. And if it was leaked online, would you guys watch the leaked version or would you just wait until next week to see it? The biggest negative I have right now without seeing the movie is it's just the aspect ratio Snyder decided to shoot the movie in. That's my biggest complaint just going into the movie. The black bars on each side of the screen. It's like, I get that you wanted to be crazy and edgy and shoot in an IMAX aspect ratio, but we don't have IMAX screens in our houses. So that's sort of just like, hey, here's black bars on the side of your big epic movie. Now it looks like a movie that you'd watch on Instagram. And by the way, Money X just became a YouTube member. Yay! Thank you, Money X. Hope to see you around, man. Much appreciated. A lot of people say they're getting tingles. All right, let's dive into the questions here. Let me fix the slow-mo chat. I do not like it, nor do I know how to fix it. It's a bit complicated. Let me see if I can fix the slow-mo chat. And if I look sweaty right now, that's because it's really hot in my house, and I just jumped in the shower 5 minutes before I went live with this thing. Because I was like, I didn't even plan on making this tonight, but I was like, the Snyder Cut was leaked. We got to talk about this. And I want to know what you guys think about it. Let me try to turn the slow-mo chat off, which I absolutely... Could YouTube go any slower? Okay. Well, it's going to stay on for now, I guess, because I'm too stupid to turn... Oh, wait. I know how to fix this. No, I don't. Where is this? Oh, Google. After being on YouTube for 10 years, you don't make anything easy. Okay, the options disappeared. Either way, let's dive into your guys' questions. They're somewhere on here. All right, the first one comes from Armin Nukakick. Snyder Cut Leak had me laughing so hard, laugh out loud. Yeah, I don't really care that it was leaked. I mean, I just think it's unfortunate for HBO Max with their brand new streaming service. It's just like, here's this awesome, exclusive new movie, all this hype, all this praise going into it already. And then it leaks, and it's just like, oh no, like, what a disaster. Like, it couldn't be anything else. It had to be the Snyder Cut movie. Yeah, it's interesting, but nevertheless, I don't think anyone's actually seen the entire movie yet, so... Unless they have. There is a few spoilers floating around, but not of the ending of the movie. At least not that I could find. Taylor Goodwin didn't see any of it. I don't care what anyone says, though. I'm hyped for it. I'm hyped for it too, man. I'm also really fucking sweaty right now. Hang on. Whew, it is hot in here. Like, why is it so hot? I'm cooking. All right. Yeah, man. I'm hyped for it, too. It's something to do. I mean, what else do I have to do? I'll watch a 4-hour Zack Snyder movie. I mean, it can either be the greatest thing ever or the worst thing ever. But nevertheless, I'm going to watch it. Hopefully, it's just mildly entertaining. That's all I want from the Snyder Cut. I just want it to be better than the previous installment. And if it does that, then okay, it's sort of justified. Max Nugenbauer, Monster Hunter was kind of a guilty pleasure. Yeah, I guess that relates to nothing right now, but man, I didn't see Monster Hunter. I've heard mixed things about it. It looks like a movie I'd watch on Netflix 6 months from now on a rainy, cold day when I was laying in bed in the fetal position at 3 o'clock in the morning with nothing better to do, and I'm preferably not wearing any pants when I watch it. So yeah, that's when I would watch it. Mike Witherspoon. Hey there, John. I'm sorry to do this to you, but can you please do an impression of Christopher Walken on his first day of work with Louis Bloom? Thanks. Hey, Louis, what are you doing over there? Do you got to get to work or something? We're going to record dead bodies. I don't know. Where's your... I don't know. That's all I have for you, man. I heard the name of the company's video production news, a professional news gathering service. That's all I got. That is all I have for you. And that's more than enough. All right, the next one comes from Johnny Carr. Hey John, I'm in school, also getting a degree in graphic design. I just wanted to know your experience in the field. I'm having fun with it so far. Yeah, man, it's definitely a very competitive field with graphic design. You're going to have to become a jack of all trades. You know, if you're just good at Photoshop, that's not going to be enough unless you're really good at Photoshop. And depending on where you live, you might want to preferably move to a bigger city. But then again, everyone works online nowadays. Yeah, just have fun with it. If you're talented, you'll probably find gigs down the road. My personal experience was I noticed how hard it was to get a job with a degree in graphic design because there is 1,000 people lining up to do the same job, but cheaper. And the other detriment to it, not to be so negative, but I'm going to be, is there are kids on Fiverr that will do projects for $5. So you have to compete with them. So you got to get really creative with it. My best advice to you is, if you want to get a degree in graphic design, so be it. And you'll have a degree once you graduate, and you can utilize that in something else. But you don't need a degree in graphic design. You really don't. I mean, you can learn the software on your own, find your own gigs, be creative with it, and work, sitting in your underwear behind your own desk all day if you want to. And I did that. I used to bid on jobs, and this was before Fiverr was really popular. This was back in like 2008 and 9. I would do a lot of freelance work wherever I could. I would always reach out to people. I made contacts with people. There was a few websites where you could bid on jobs, and that was really competitive. But like I said, become a jack of all trades with it. Learn as much as you possibly can about everything. That way, if you ever do apply for a job, you can say, yeah, I know how to do that. And even if you don't know how to do something, just say you do and learn it later. I assure you, I got a few jobs that way. So yeah, good luck, man. But that's why I make YouTube videos now. And I do use graphic design, I guess, technically for YouTube, but not every day. Let's keep going. Wacko Mac TV. Just watched Point Break for the first time. Now I only live to get radical. Can you do a Bodhi speech in a Walken voice? What is with you guys and wanting terrible Christopher Walken impressions? Do you guys just want me to make a fool out of myself? I'll do it. I know no limits. I have no boundaries. All right. So, Bodhi impression and a Christopher, or at least a shitty Christopher Walken. By the way, we have 375 of you beautiful people in here. Thank you so much for joining me. That way I don't feel all lonely and cold on this Monday night. And yeah, I guess the later it is, the more people that join these live streams. It's weird. We're all vampires of the night. I like to consider myself a vigilante of the night, except in my mind, I want to be Batman, but I don't have as much money. I don't have a butler. I don't have a cool Batmobile. I do have a Toyota. And that's about it. Okay, so here's my Christopher Walken voice doing a Bodhi impression from Point Break. Hang on, let me conjure this up. It was never about the money, man. It was about us against the system, showing that the human spirit is still alive while everyone else inches down the freeways in the metal coffins. Please, no more Christopher Walken impressions. Please don't make me do any more of those. I'm so ashamed of myself. All right. Let's just keep going here. Let's see. Someone said Watchmen is the best superhero movie. Watchmen is a pretty good movie. There's a lot of great things in the movie. There's also a lot of things that just feel tacked in there and they kind of destroy the pace of the movie. Visually speaking, I enjoy a lot of the Watchmen. Like the marketing material for the movie Watchmen, I love the way the posters looked. I love the blue rainy city skylines with the bold yellow Watchmen letters. I used to have the Rorschach poster for many years. I might still have it somewhere. Maybe I don't. But yeah, I really liked Watchmen. It's not the most rewatchable movie, but hey, it goes for it. Especially that scene with Night Owl. Oh yeah. All right. Armin Nukakick. We already answered that. Claudio Rogajon. How's it going, Claudio? I'm pretty sure the movie's going to be crap with terrible pacing as it's 4 hours and pretentious BS symbolism that means nothing. Well, that's one way to look at it. And let's talk about the runtime of the Snyder Cut. Does 4 hours seem necessary? Probably not. Will it feel like a continuation of a lot of scenes tacked in there that look really cool but really serve no purpose overall to the story, but they're in there simply to look cool? Yeah, I can see that happening. It almost feels like that new nightmare sequence in the movie. It's like, will that serve any real purpose? Maybe not, but it's a way to get away with showing some really cool visuals. It's like, this is how we can get away with putting the Joker in the movie. But it doesn't really have to make any sense because it's a nightmare scene. Anything can happen. It's a way to show a continued shot of Darkseid. It doesn't really need to play into the story. It's just a nightmare sequence. Batman can imagine anything he possibly wants to, and they can cram it all into a 3-minute sequence. So I can see a culmination of a lot of those scenes going down. And now I've heard, take this with a grain of salt, I've heard from someone who knows someone who's seen an early press screening of the film that it is sort of a mess, but there's a lot of fun visuals along the way. And what this movie is going to do is it's going to appease the hardcore DC fanboys. That's what I've heard. Like, it'll appease a small demographic of people. It'll give them what they wanted to see. But that might be it. But take that with a grain of salt. That is just a rumor and speculation at this point. Taylor Goodwin. Did you see the 4K Steelbook of Dredd? I did see the cover of it. Speaking of Dredd, oddly enough, I just watched Dredd last night on, I believe it was on Amazon Prime. I really enjoy Dredd, man. Carl Urban, every time I see him as Dredd, I'm just like, ugh, why can't some studio just get the rights to Dredd? Or the studio, I believe, who owns it? Lionsgate released it, or Paramount owns it. I don't remember which studio owns Dredd. But how can they not just think to themselves from a business standpoint, the film Dredd didn't cost that much. Now, it had terrible trailers, which is why it did so bad at the box office. But the movie itself is a fun, solid action movie. I don't understand why a studio doesn't say, hey, why don't we just throw $40 million at a Dredd sequel? We'll make it small scale, simple, but let's do that. I guarantee you it'll be a success. I mean, especially if you put it on some streaming service out there. Look at Netflix. They spent $150 million on some of their original exclusive movies, and most of them are terrible. So why not throw $30 million or $40 million at a Dredd movie and release it on a streaming service? There's definitely a fan base out there. I'm one of them. I would love to see that. But yeah, I did see what a long-winded answer to your question. Yes, I did see the Steelbook, man. Woodrow Wilson, formerly known as Justin E. Richards, the longest name ever. Can you do an impression of Dracula and Van Helsing? Is this what you guys come here for? Hey, I'm not going to say no. Van Helsing. Oh! That's where he licks blood and then he orgasms? Yes. Claudia Rogajan. People don't realize the movie is just a giant F you to Warner Brothers and DCEU by Snyder. It ends on a massive cliffhanger. He's a mega troll. Yeah, I mean, it's going to leave off on a cliffhanger, but you know what I think, you know what I secretly think's happening here? Now, the only reason we're getting the Snyder Cut is because AT&T essentially own HBO. And once they had ownership of them, they're like, you know what? We're going to make some changes around here, because if it was up to Warner Brothers, we'd never be getting this. So what's happening with the Snyder Cut is it's essentially a redo. And they're saying, oh, it's just a redo. It's a one-off. It's not going to lead to anything. But let's wait a second. Let's say the Snyder Cut's good and people enjoy it. And it energizes the DC universe once again. And it gives people what they want to see. And it starts more hype. Why would they not continue off? Why would they not continue with the Snyder Cut and maybe continue with the new Superman movie and the Wonder Woman movie and the Aquaman movie and make a Green Lantern movie and a Martian Manhunter movie, and they're already making a Flash movie. So they're already making sequels to things based from the Justice League. And if they get a chance to redo the Justice League, which they did, and it's better, and it has a little bit more critical praise, just a little bit more, I can see this. I could see them utilizing this as a starting point to continue off of for all these other movies. So to just make this as a one-off and say, yeah, it's not going to lead to anything, I don't buy that. I think they were hoping, they didn't want to put it out there. They didn't want to admit this, because if it fails and it's terrible, no one likes it, they're going to be like, oh, well, never mind, we messed up again. But if it's good, I can see them using this as a starting point to continue on with the universe and at least salvage what they've already done so far. So I think the way that they end this, I think they sat around and thought about how they were going to end the Snyder Cut for a while. I really do. And I think they're going to end it on an ambiguous note. That way they can kind of continue on in the DC universe to do what they need to do with upcoming sequels to movies. At least that's my theory. I don't know. It's late. What do I know? Where am I? G Money X. Hey, John, if you had the power to shrink someone, how would you use that power? I would probably shrink Nicolas Cage, and I would put him in a pickle jar on my desk. And every time I was feeling a little bit down inside and I needed a little bit of pick-me-up, a little levity, a little comedy in my life, a little bit of crazy, I would tap on that pickle jar with Nicolas Cage in it. And I would say, hey, Nick, wake up. Tell me a funny joke. And he'd go, okay, John, what's that in your pocket? A shark or something? And I would laugh and I'd go on with my day. Now keep in mind, in this giant pickle jar, which I keep on my desk with a shrunken Nicolas Cage in it, I would put a little bed in there. I'd put some, I'd give him some dead bugs, some, leftover Sour Patch Kids or Doritos or whatever. And that's where Nicolas Cage would live. Now let me ask you this. What other fucking live show says that? Okay? Thank you guys for joining me, nevertheless. I hope you enjoyed that. Let's keep going here before it gets too weird. Justin Martin. John, the Snowtown Murders came out in 2012. A truly dark and sinister film based on the true murders that will pierce your soul. Just your style. The Snowtown Murders. Okay, man. I'm always into a murder mystery movie. Snowtown Murders. It came out in 2012? Wow. All right. I'll look into that. Sounds intriguing. I hope it's good. I'll at least watch the trailer. If the trailer looks well crafted, well made, I'll watch it. Taylor Goodwin. Anything's better than Batman laying on the ground saying something's definitely broken. Yeah. That scene specifically, that obvious reshot Whedon scene where Batman gets thrown into a car 150 miles per hour, crushes the side of it, and is laying on AstroTurf, which looks like it was shot in my garage. It just felt so tacked in there for some dumb, levity, jokey moment. I hated that. Yeah, that scene always stood out to me. Even this first time I saw Justice League in the theater, I can remember that scene vividly. I hated every second of it. David Payne. I wish Halloween Kills leaked. Read script brutal. I don't read movie scripts before they come out. I just like to be surprised. But I'm glad it's brutal, man. And I want to see that movie so bad. I hate that it got delayed. So hopefully it comes out next October. We can all enjoy it, and it's better than the previous installment. But I'm looking forward to it. Brutal the better, man. Christian Duzens. Christian, thanks for the super chat, man. You didn't ask a question. I wish you did, but thank you so much. If you do have a question, Christian, try to leave it in the normal chat, and I'll try to find it. But thanks, man. Night King 01. Sources are saying Joker's only in it for 10 minutes. Some sources are saying Joker's only in the movie for like 2 minutes. So either way, I mean, I did like the one little sneak peek nightmare scene that we saw of Joker. I mean, at least he didn't have the shitty tattoos and they were covered up, or at least they didn't even put him there. I was happy with that. And he sounded better too. Like, I like the way Jared Leto's Joker sounded in that little Justice League sneak clip peek thing. But yeah, anything's better than what David Ayer gave us with Joker. OE Reviews. Have you checked out the channel Bat in the Sun? Great crossover versus short films, and their Batman short comes out this Wednesday. I typically don't watch a lot of short films based on comic book characters. Sometimes I'm just underwhelmed by it. But that sounds cool. I mean, my favorite Batman short film that was independently made was the one where Batman fights the Predator. I was like, I really enjoyed that. I always remember rewatching that over and over every time. That was back in the old days of the internet. What is this? Cherry limeade. Now that's good shit. Get a cherry limeade rain energy drink. That's pretty good. Claudia Rogajan. There's a rumor that the Joker part is the last shot. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it would be speculation at this point. All I know is it's a 4-hour movie. That's a long movie. But yeah, I am curious to see how it ends off. I'm curious to see what DC did to salvage this movie and maybe retain some of the structural integrity of the DC universe and see what they can do with it. Landon, thoughts on Mission Impossible Rogue Nation? I feel like people only talk about Ghost Protocol and Fallout. That's because they do. Rogue Nation to me is one of my least favorite Mission Impossible films of the later films. Now Fallout's amazing. Ghost Protocol, so much fun. Re-energized the franchise to go a different direction and did everything it needed to do. And plus, the thing about Ghost Protocol is my only complaint with that movie is, and it's also my biggest praise with the movie, is the Burj Khalifa scene where Tom Cruise is climbing the building. That shit makes my palms sweat every time I watch it. It never gets old to me. But the thing is, that happens before the third act of the movie. So it's sort of like the movie blows its load. And then everything that happens after that sequence, you sort of just forget about it. Like, it's just like, it just does not compare. But with all that said, Rogue Nation to me felt kind of underwhelming. Like, it falls between two great Mission Impossible films that have great sequences that stand out. And the most memorable scene in Rogue Nation was where he jumps into a water tank and goes swimming. Now, I'm not saying that's not impressive or it wasn't cool to watch, but it doesn't really compare with the film before it and after it. And plus, the one scene that always stood out to me in Rogue Nation was they flip over a car backwards, and it looked like the most obvious CG shot ever. Like, it stood out like a sore thumb. Jeffrey Goldwyn, are you excited for the Flashpoint? Honestly, it sounds like they're cramming so much into it to try to reboot. I'd prefer a continuation of Snyder. Well, the Flashpoint was sort of another redo, like just sort of like the Snyder Cut it's a redo. Now, the Flashpoint was a redo in hopes of salvaging what went wrong with the DC universe. So what they're doing is saying, okay, some things happen, some things exist, so we can continue on making sequels with Aquaman and Wonder Woman and shit. But Batman, not so much. He doesn't exist anymore, and Superman, maybe he doesn't exist either in this universe. So it's sort of a way to fix things and salvage what they have and continue on. I'm excited for the Flashpoint movie. I am. I think it sounds intriguing. It sounds like there's going to be some cool stuff in it. I hope the script is good. The thing that gets me most excited about it is seeing Michael Keaton return as Batman. Like, if that doesn't get you excited, like, what the fuck does, So I'm excited to see that. It's just something I never thought we would see again. And, when I was a stupid little kid, Michael Keaton was my Batman. Like, I grew up watching the 89 Batman movie on VHS over and over until one day it got stuck in my VCR and I tried to get it out with a pencil, and then my dad got really mad. But yeah, let's just keep going. You guys are killing it with the questions. Thank you so much, guys. I'm doing my best to keep up here. Daryl Harmsey became a member of Don't Get Scared now. Thanks, Daryl. Yay. Thanks, man. Hope to see you around. Bakatira says, Rain sponsorship, John? Yeah, by the way, this live stream is brought to you by Rain. If you want to feel the thunder, drink Rain. I just made that up, but that was pretty good, huh? That's a lie. I wish it was. In all honesty, this is sponsored by you guys, so thank you guys. All right, let's keep going here. Ooh, so many good questions. Okay. Claudia Rogajan. Scary thought. It's been almost 10 years since Man of Steel. Yeah, and we never got a sequel to it. Like, what? How? Man of Steel is my favorite Superman movie. I don't care what anyone says. I will defend that movie until the day I die. Is it perfect? No. But do I enjoy it? Absolutely. That's the Superman movie that made me feel something. The score, the visuals, Henry Cavill's muscular body, his bicep definition. Oh man, it was like, that's Superman. I really enjoyed Man of Steel, and I was hoping for a sequel, and then I was like, okay, maybe next year, maybe it never happened. Cody Stacknecht, off-topic question: have you heard of any Sasquatch sightings where you're from? Do you think that he could exist? I mean, if you want to see a hairy guy living out in the woods, I'll give you my uncle's address. Okay? That is the closest thing we're probably going to see to Sasquatch. Now, do I believe in aliens? Statistically speaking, I think we all should. Let's keep going. Brian Vandenberg. Hi, John. Even if the Snyder Cut doesn't do well, I'm still going to enjoy it either way. What if it's completely terrible, though, and just a waste of time? What if it's a waste of 4 hours with all the stuff you've seen with a whole bunch of shit just tacked into it for the sake of just being tacked into it? Would you still enjoy it then? But with all that said, I am looking forward to it. I mean, it'll be fun to watch, and it'll definitely be fun to review, which going back earlier, I'm almost scared to review the movie, but I'm going to. Jason Nelson, do you promise to review Snyder Cut and Coming to America? I promise to review the Snyder Cut. No, I do not promise to review Coming to America. I'm not going to review it, and I'm going to tell you why. I watched 28 minutes, maybe 32 minutes of Coming to America last night. Now, the original's fun. I love me some Eddie Murphy, especially from the 1980s. Those first 30 minutes of Coming to America were the most dull, boring, uninspired, unfunny comedy. It just has that typical trope of being a comedy movie 20 years too late. And I hated the way it looked. Now, this might be a nitpick, but it looked like the most boring, flat, digital movie ever. Like, it just looked cheap. It looked like a made-for-TV movie that would have came out 10 years ago. And that, to me, was really off-putting. It sort of reminded me of Bill and Ted Face the Music. And I love the first two Bill and Ted movies. Those are movies I watched over and over and rented them from Blockbuster every other Saturday. But Face the Music, it felt off. Like, the script wasn't that good. The movie looked soulless and so bland and washed out. And by the third act of the movie, I was just like, I don't care anymore. So that's how I felt about Coming to America. So I will not do a review for Coming to America. But Snyder Cut, absolutely. Woodrow Wilson. John, we're hiring a bus full of fans to go from Ohio to Oregon to visit the last blockbuster on Earth. It'll be the most epic flick trip ever. Okay, well, you get the bus, you get the driver, and I'll be on that shit. Okay, I'll host that party. I'll host that flick trip for 2,000 miles on our bus ride to hell to the last blockbuster. So you set all of that up, and I'll be there. And I'll record it. that would be awesome. If I was a wealthy man, and I wish I was, sometimes when I close my eyes and go to sleep, I am. And then I wake up and I'm like, ooh, college debt. I would do something like that for you guys. But I'm poor. Seymour Batia? Just rewatched your Batman v Superman review. Do you still give it a B? I thought I gave it a B-, and no, I do not. That is my regret with that review. See, what I said everything I felt like I wanted to say in the review, but I think I was generous with the grade. And that's why I hate giving movies grades, because I say typically everything I want to say in that review, but then the grade is just like, I don't know. The grade is like the only thing people see. It doesn't matter what I just said for 10 minutes. It's like they just see the grade. So no, I would not. That is, I probably should have given it like a C-. I really should have. I was just, when people say I shit on the Snyder Cut or I don't want to see it, you're talking to a guy who gave the original Justice League a B, because that's how hyped I was to see the movie. Ye fond my lobster. I don't get the Snyder Cut hype. If this movie was so great, do we really think Warner Brothers would have scrapped it for Whedon's version? DC fans can be tedious. Yeah, well, what happened was Snyder had to take a break for personal reasons. And and then he wasn't really there. So I think Warner Brothers got scared, and they looked at the Avengers films, and they're like, well, these have a little bit more levity into them. People like to laugh when they see comic book movies. Let's make people laugh. So they somehow try to salvage it into the Whedon version. I don't know. But what we will know is all these questions will be answered in a week from now when we see the Snyder Cut. And we'll see just how much better it truly was. I am genuinely intrigued. So we'll see. I'm saying this. This Snyder Cut that we're getting next week, this might be the bare bones of what Snyder originally intended, but they have changed things after the fact to coincide with what's happening now in that same universe. So there's going to be a lot of tweaks and changes I feel like made that originally would never have been there, even if Snyder stuck around back when this movie came out. I think after the fact, they're like, well, maybe we should have did this and maybe this small thing. So I don't know. I guess it'll be something to do for 4 hours as we all watch it. Upshot Music TV. Isn't it crazy that we've had future Batman murder future Joker with an axe, with Huey Lewis playing in the background? Hey, Paul! Try getting a reservation at Dorsey now, you fuck! Yeah, it is. I guess you make a point, yeah. I wish they would recreate that for the Snyder Cut. Kevin Michael Joy. Hey, John, longtime fan. I was curious to know your thoughts on the NHL or the Columbus Blue Jackets. I forgot that Columbus had a hockey team until just now. So that's what I think about them. Have I been to an NHL game? Maybe I've been to one. I typically enjoy hockey. I think it's one of the more fast-paced sports to watch, where they're not afraid to be a little bit more brutal and violent, and they don't just throw themselves down to get a foul shot. I appreciate that about hockey, but I'm not a really big fan, but I have been to a few hockey games. Landon, do you still talk to Treg Fisher? Occasionally, we might send a message every once in a while. I'll say, hey, what's up, man? But not every day or anything. I think he's doing well. I keep up with some of his videos. Gary Sido, thanks for the super chat, man. You didn't ask a question, but thanks nevertheless. Javier Vargas, I think I said that right. Is it Javier Vargas? What would you like to be the first movie you see in theaters when they reopen? It's a great question. I mean, A Quiet Place 2 I did want to see in theaters. Top Gun I feel like Top Gun is a movie you sort of need to see on the big screen this summer. That would have been pretty sweet. I mean, I don't know. It's just, I wish theaters would reopen today. It just depends. Are they going to open this summer? Are they going to open this spring? It just depends what movie comes out around that time. I mean, everything continues to get delayed, so it's hard to even predict. I mean, if I could pick a movie right now to watch on the big screen, I'd watch the new Robert Pattinson Batman movie, but that's not until next year, so I'll take any movie I can get right now. The new James Bond, maybe, if that ever opened. Claudia Rogajon. Flashpoint has the same writer as Birds of Prey. Does it? Does it have the same writer? Oh my god. Oh no. No. I thought it had a different writer. You might be right. That sucks. Brandon Steven Cladis. Hey John, on Friday I'm going to get a movie night by myself. I'm planning to see the first time There Will Be Blood, Silence of the Lambs, and Ocean's 11. What snack and food do you recommend? Ooh, that's a good night, man. You're watching There Will Be Blood. Oh, that's about a 3-hour movie, but damn good. Drainage. And then Silence of the Lambs. You're on a dark path. And then you're going to watch Ocean's 11. You got to have some levity in your movie night. What I would recommend doing is tucking Ocean's 11 in between There Will Be Blood and Silence of the Lambs. That's what I would do. I would probably start off with Silence of the Lambs. That's my favorite movie out of the bunch. Then watch Ocean's 11 to kind of just break it up a little bit. Then watch There Will Be Blood because it's a slow burn. So popcorn, salty popcorn. Gotta have extra salt with your popcorn. Some Coke, Pepsi. I drink diet. And then every time you eat a salty food, you need either a chocolate or you need a sweet. So some Sour Patch Kids, and then I don't know. What's a chocolatey? Some chocolate covered peanuts. There you go, man. Those are my recommendations. Enjoy that movie night, man. Woodrow Wilson. Hey, John. Have you watched M 1931 yet? No, I didn't. You ask that on the last one? No, I have not got a chance to watch M 1931. I feel like didn't I mention I've seen it? We watched a whole bunch of classic films in college. I feel like I either watched part of it, we talked about it, or I saw part of it. I know it's like the original Fincher flick if you go back to the 1930s, essentially, but I haven't seen it. Someone said Godzilla versus Kong will be bad. You know, I have thoughts on it. It looks like CG. It just looks like a CG movie. I don't know. It just looks like CG. I don't know. It's something about nothing looks real in it. And I know it's not real because it's a giant fucking ape fighting a giant dinosaur. I know these things, guys. But it just looks so overly polished. And by the way, if you guys are YouTube members, feel free to chime in the chat right now, guys. I want to see who's here. Let me know who's the YouTube members right now. Chime into the chat. Say hi. Or ask a question. Taylor Goodwin. Watchmen is underrated to me. Silk Spectra was pretty hot. Yeah, she's wearing like a pleather yellow suit with thigh highs. Absolutely. That scene with her and Night Owl was truly magical. I mean, that is a scene. I agree, though. Yeah. A Spectator. Hey, John. Are you ever going to do a movie night again? I really enjoyed them. Yeah, man, I'll do a movie night again. I just got to pick the right movie, the right time, and yeah, I'll do a movie night again. I assure you. I will. I'll do a movie night right there on that couch. That's where I'm going to do them. I almost want to do the live show from that couch right there, except I couldn't read the questions from back there, but I feel like laying down right now talking to you guys. I'll do a movie night. I'll do a movie night. I'll do a movie night. I just got to come up with the right movie and the right topic to do it on. Mason Arnold. I just discovered there's a song by Entombed called Wolverine Blues, and yes, it's actually about Wolverine. Interesting. Okay, I'm gonna look. Is it like metal? Is it by a metal band? Because that would only make sense, right? Okay, yeah, that sounds cool. I mean, you're talking to a guy who likes the metal version of the "Let It Go" from Frozen song. Don't judge me. High on Lines. Did you watch The History of Swear Words with Nicolas Cage on Netflix? I've talked about this a few times. I saw the first episode or two. I didn't watch all of them. I just loved the opening episode where Nicolas Cage screams "fuck" for 5 minutes. That was great. But I didn't watch all of the series. 1901. John, do you hear in your head when reading a Batman comic? Personally, I hear Kevin Conroy, as I've never heard a single person say Bale's voice. If I read Batman lines, whose voice do I read it in? It just depends. I mean, I guess Kevin Conroy. I don't know. It kind of, based on the visual style of that version of Batman, I guess is who I put the voice with. I would say Kevin Conroy, but sometimes, you know, maybe I hear Michael Keaton's voice in there. Hey, you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts. Samir Bada, John, have you smoked weed, and what's your opinion? Yeah, in high school, occasionally, only to be cool and fit in. It was never my thing. Never my thing. I just never was that into it. It just felt so hard. Like it was too complicated. It's like you got to go buy it. And then it's like, I don't know anybody. And then like you got to roll it and smoke it. I'm just like, this is too much effort. And then you smell like it. I'm like, no. Let's just huff gasoline, everyone. So yeah, never was really big on it. Sammy B. Hey, John. I was curious if you've ever seen the movie Rounders with Matt Damon. If so, what do you think of it? One of my favorite underrated movies that no one ever talks about. I have seen Rounders. I love me some Rounders. And I like movies about like gambling and poker. Now, I don't even know how to play poker, but I like movies about it. I know, odd, right? I find it fascinating. Like when I watched Queen's Gambit about playing chess, like I'm pretty terrible at chess. I sort of know how to play, but I find it so intriguing to watch something about that. I just enjoy it. So yeah, I think it's a great movie. It is underrated, and it has Edward Norton in it as a supporting actor, and he always plays like such a seedy shithead. Edward Norton does. And then you have John Malkovich in it doing the most awful Russian accent I've ever heard. Bring me my money. I want my money now. It's so bad, but I still like it. Yeah, it's a good movie. If you guys haven't seen Rounders, check it out. And if you're in the mood for like a gambling movie that no one talks about, there's another one starring Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey. It's called Two for the Money. That's another underrated movie no one talks about. Bakatir says, I miss Tiny. We all miss Tiny. Maybe one day he'll make a return when he's resurrected from hell. If you guys don't know who Tiny Todd is, it's best not to talk about it. All right. Almost caught up on the questions here. All right. Daniel Coolio. Hey, John, do you play games? Did you get a PS5? No, I do not. I play on PC. The only thing I play is Call of Duty Warzone or multiplayer Cold War. I have a PC. I just got it a couple of months ago. It was sort of a Christmas gift to myself. And a PS5, where do you even find a PS5 to buy it if you wanted one? So no, I play on PC. What do you think about having Flick Games part of your live stream where you talk about random games? Oh yeah, Flick Games. Are you aware that I have a YouTube channel called Flick Video Games that I haven't uploaded a video on since 2013? There's 5 videos on there. If you get bored, search Flick Video Games on YouTube. I thought about live streaming, playing Call of Duty during a live stream and just kind of talking to you guys. And by no means am I great at the game. I'm not going to play the game to like, hey guys, look how good I am. Look at my kill to death ratio. I'm a badass at Call of Duty. It would just be casual fun of me just losing my shit occasionally and screaming at little kids who are better at the game than me, and then answering your questions along the way. But it would be sort of hard to pay attention to that and the live chat. And the other thing is I only have one monitor, so I would need like another monitor for the chat. So I don't know. I have thought about it. So maybe one day. Z White. I've been watching your last stream this whole time, not knowing you were live right now. 360 days until Batman. Are you going to get Saul on 4K? Well, hey, nevertheless, man, thanks for watching the live streams, and now you can catch up on this one. Yeah, 300, almost a year away. Give it to me now, baby. I need it. Am I going to buy Saul on 4K? I don't know. I don't think Saul is a necessity on 4K. I own the Blu-ray. I feel like that's enough. So probably not. I just don't see myself like needing Saul on 4K. Like, how many more times am I going to watch Saul? Landon, if they gave you 3 months to work out and transform your body to play Batman, would you do it? And would 3 months be enough? Absolutely, I would do it. Yes. Would 3 months be enough? It would be just enough. I think I could do it. I think I have enough muscle memory to do it. I think I could. I think I could do it. I think I could do it. Yeah. It depends on which version of Batman you need me to be, though. I think I could do it, though. Jalen Martin. Do you watch the Marvel films on Disney Plus? Occasionally, yeah. I rewatch Infinity War and Endgame often. Like, probably once a month, I watch one of those movies. And what I do is, every time I get food, I come home, and I'm like, oh, I need something fun. I want a spectacle to watch. But I don't want to, like, take a chance on something. I just want to be entertained when I watch it. So what I do is I always go to Infinity War or Endgame because I like both those movies. Like, some people crap on Endgame. I like it. I don't care what anyone says. And I watch them. And, like, they're just so immersive and fun and easy to get through. And, like, when you're eating Chipotle, it's just like the perfect viewing experience. So yeah, occasionally I watch movies on Disney Plus because I'm too lazy to come up here and grab the 4K. Yeah, absolutely. Claudia Roguejohn. Have you done other drugs? My God, yeah. Heroin, crack, meth. I'll snort anything you put in front of me. No, man, no. I don't. Do I look like I'm addicted to drugs to you? The only drug I do is caffeine. And yes, caffeine is classified as a drug. And I do lots of it. So I'm not going to say I've never snorted pre-workout. Okay? To say I haven't would be a lie. But no, I'm not really big into drugs. You know, I grew up around that. I had a lot of family members who did drugs, to keep it real with you. And I was just like, I think when you're exposed to things like that at a young age and you just see how detrimental it is, you sort of just wise up to it at a very young age. And you're like, I'm never going to do that shit. It just doesn't turn out good. Winners at the prom queen. Good news. I got a job. Bad news. They lowballed me with a low offer. John, what do I do? You go in there. You grab your boss by the neck and you say, listen, I ain't working for anyone for free, buddy. Okay? You want the best? You got to pay the best. Don't do that. I don't know, man. Are negotiations closed? If not, negotiate. What I would do is get in there, prove yourself, become the best man you possibly can, become an essential part of that company. And then in a few months, 3 months, maybe 6 months, go to your boss with a very well-rehearsed speech and ask for that raise. But tell him why. And tell him why he should give it to you, because you're worth it. But congrats on the job, buddy. Jason Nelson. Favorite movie based off action figures, G.I. Joe 2? Oh, God. Oh, I forgot the G.I. Joe movies existed. Oh, what a pile of shit those were. Based off action figures? I'm still waiting on a good He-Man movie. Or Masters of the Universe. I liked the first Transformers movie when it came out. I enjoyed it. I can't say that about the sequels, but overall, when I first saw the first Transformers in theaters, I enjoyed it. I'm trying to think of another movie based with toys. I'm sure there's something out there. I mean, my favorite movie based on toys is Toy Story, but I mean, that wasn't technically the question, now was it? Winners at the prom queen. While you were at your physical prime, did obese people ever disgust you? I mean, I don't know, man. If you... Yes. No, I don't know. There's some people who just don't care enough about themselves, and I'm just like, how do you live like that? What is it, My 500-Pound Life on a, like, what is it, TLC or something? That's some entertaining stuff. All right, there's a few older questions in here I wanted to dive into that I missed on the last live stream, and I'm going to get to those now very quickly. We had a question here from Watchtower Studios. Just watched Point Break for the first time. Now I only live to get radical. Also, would you be Batman if young Lights Camera Jackson was Robin? Absolutely. Only if they gave him the right codpiece. And then I throw him off a building and say it was an accident. No, the Joker did it. I did it. So yeah, man, congrats on watching Point Break for the first time, Watchtower Studios. Because it's not about the money. It's about us against the system. The other one was from Claudia Rogajon. Here's a question I missed from you on the last one, man, or maybe the time before. Wish they released Amazing Spider-Man in its original form, unedited by the studio. Have you heard or seen what it was originally like before the edits? Amazing Spider-Man? I know nothing about the Amazing Spider-Man original cut. I thought we got essentially the cut. What a forgettable movie. You know, speaking of Amazing Spider-Man, the one with Andrew Garfield, the one scene that always stood out to me was where they're playing basketball. And he's just Peter Parker. He's just the normal, nerdy Peter Parker. And he starts doing like crazy flips and slam dunks on the basketball court. And I'm just like, how does anyone not question, like, that's probably Spider-Man? Like, I don't know. That's what I remember most from that movie. The next one comes from Asger's Web. Do you want the Batman to get an R rating? If the story needs it to be an R rating, absolutely. If it's supposed to be rated R and they water it down in editing, that'll be detrimental. But yeah, I'd like to see a rated R Batman movie, but only if it needs to be. I mean, The Dark Knight wasn't rated R. It didn't need to be, but it was still pretty damn good. And this one comes from JP Flicks. When did you know that you could do YouTube full time? Well, I didn't quite know before I started doing YouTube full time. What happened was back in 2013, maybe early 2014, I got fired from my job for just the most made up reasons ever. And I was doing YouTube at the time, and I was making a little bit of money from YouTube, not a lot. And I was in a contract with a network, an MCN called Machinima, which basically steal your soul and ravage your body over and over and take all of your money. And that's why they went out of business, so rightfully so, and I'm glad they did. But with all of that said, so I was making a little bit of money, and then I started taking YouTube a little bit more serious going into 2014. And by the summer of 2014, I was able to sign with a new network called Fullscreen, and they didn't take all my money like Machinima did. And I was like, oh, whoa, I can afford to do YouTube full time now. Now, those first 6 months of not having a job and doing YouTube or trying to do it full time was pretty hard. I racked up a lot of credit card debt, and that sucked. I remember that. That really did suck. But yeah, I would say the summer of 2014 is when I knew I could do YouTube full time, and it was sort of, I was making enough, and I noticed, more success with YouTube, and I sort of found a formula that worked. So yeah, summer of 2014, I would say, was when it really started picking up for me. I mean, you guys are killing. Thank you guys so much for the questions. You guys, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. And thanks for all 404 of you currently looking at my stupid, disgusting face at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Thank you guys just for watching. It does mean a lot. You guys are awesome. I like to hang out with you guys. I didn't want to sound like weird, but I wanted to start calling you guys the Flick family. Is that cringy? What do you think about it? I'll call you the Flick family. Is that weird? Does that insult you? I don't know. Let me know what you think about that. All right. Mason Arnold says, yes, Wolverine Blues is middle AF. I discovered it on an old episode of Beavis and Butthead. Okay, man. I'm going to check into that. I like me some metal music. So, okay. I'm going to check into that. Hey man, Mason, do you have Twitter? Can you tweet me like the music video or the song right now on Twitter? If you do, just so I don't forget, I want to check it out. If not, it's okay, man. Thanks. CFunk99. Thoughts on Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder? I'm a dude playing a dude who's another dude. I'm going to keep it real with you guys. This is my 100% honest answer to this. Yes, I love him in the role. Robert Downey Jr. was great in that movie. When I first saw the first trailer for Tropic Thunder, the first half of the trailer, I didn't know that was Robert Downey Jr. I thought it was like a black actor. I really did. So yeah, I loved him in Tropic Thunder. Nah, you could never do that again nowadays. And the only guy who can get away with it is Robert Downey Jr. But yeah, I liked him in it. Winners at the Prom Queen. I know you don't like doing these, but can you do a Christopher Walken impression demanding a higher salary? I'll do. Yes, I'll do it just for you, man. The money is a little low, don't you think? Maybe a raise if you're feeling generous. If not, I'm going to leave. And you see this watch right here. I had this uncomfortable hunk of metal up my ass for 8 long years. That's it. That's all I got. Unglitch. What's your favorite ghost-related horror movie? Ooh, man. I'll tell you one of my favorite remake horror movies of all time, and I stand by this. It's The Ring. It's the 2001 Ring movie. I love that movie. So, I mean, she's technically a wet little ghost creeping out of a well, but yeah, probably the Ring remake. And it's just so, I remember watching it in theaters and just being so immersed into the story and the tone and the atmosphere and just the visual style of it. And I had never seen the original when I saw the remake, so it was fresh to me. And that first scene where you have the little girl crawling out of the well and just getting closer and closer to the screen, and where she crawls out of the TV screen, I just remember chills being sent down my body because we saw that movie in theaters at like midnight. And there's a group of me and a few friends, and it just was like so eerie. So maybe that. Michael, John, what happened to Danielle and Brittany and all of your lady friends we've seen through the years? Whose fault is it, bro? Laugh out loud. It's a 50-50 sometimes. They're all buried in my backyard. That's the truth. No. I don't know, man. What happens is you date someone, you live with them, you figure out you're not a good match, and you figure, you know what, rather than waste each other's time and going through the motions for another 10 years and being miserable, let's just end it here. And you know, sometimes along the way, you look at things that you do that maybe you could have done better, and maybe you could have been the better version of you. But you know, in the grand scheme of things, I don't have any regrets, to be honest with you. So that's what happened. Tyler Van, thoughts on the 4 Transporter films? First one's pretty cool. Second one's pretty bad. The third one's pretty fucking terrible. And the fourth one I didn't even watch. So that's my thoughts on the 4. I just remember in Transporter 2, he does a barrel roll in his car because there's a bomb underneath it. And he hits the bottom of his car on a crane 500 feet in the air that knocks the little bomb off the bottom of his car. And I looked at my friend when that happened, and I was like, let's leave the theater. And we did. Just so terrible. And once again, if you guys are YouTube members and you're watching right now, please feel free to chime in the chat. Bakatir says, hello, John. What Batman movie, in your recollection, where was he an actual detective? Okay, well, there's always little bits of detective work done by Batman in all of the movies. I mean, if you go back to The Dark Knight, where he's trying to trace the fingerprints off a shattered bullet, and he's testing out shooting different rounds into... I don't even know how it worked, to be honest. It didn't even make any sense. It really made no sense. But he got the Joker's fingerprints off a shattered bullet by shooting a bullet into the wall, and somehow that gave him the fingerprints off it didn't make any sense, did it? But that was some detective work. You have the end of Batman Begins, where Commissioner Gordon hands him the card, and he's like, one man or the entire mob? I'll look into it. And then you had in Batman v Superman, Bruce Wayne was doing some detective work. He went to Lex Luthor's party, and he tapped into the network, and then he went to that underground fighting thing, and he put his phone beside the other guy's phone and traced the stuff on there. There was some detective work along the way. I mean, not as much as I wanted, but that's what I think we're going to get in the new Robert Pattinson Batman flick. So, DJ Run 1, John, do you have any tattoos? Not that I know of. I do not. The thing with tattoos and me, I'm just way too picky. I'm anal retentive, and if I got a tattoo, first of all, I don't even know what I would get. But if I did get one, I would just look at it all day and hate it. I always mispronounce your name. Javier Vargas? Hans Zimmer's score for The Ring 2002 was great. Yes, it was. It was eerie and so satisfying at the same time. I forgot Zimmer did that. Wow, okay. Claudia Rogajan. Birds of Prey is terrible. Every man in that movie is either a criminal or a bad person. I hate when movies do that to men. I'm scared for the Flash. I don't mind if a movie makes every guy a bad guy or a criminal. That's fine. Just don't make them look like stupid bad guys or stupid criminals. I mean, how do you take Ewan McGregor and make him look terrible in a movie? Oh yeah, you make Birds of Prey. Yeah, it was a bad movie. I hope Flash is good though, man. Michael G. John, did Crazy Jason commit suicide? No, he did not. Not that I know of. We talked about Crazy Jason on the last live stream. As far as I know, he's fine. He's doing okay, but like I said, man, he just doesn't keep in touch anymore, and I try, but he just does not. So I hope he's doing well. DJ Run 1, don't forget George Clooney figuring out that the two people in the picture were Poison Ivy and Bane. Oh yes, that's what I remember most about Batman and Robin is he looked at a fucking black and white picture that looked photoshopped by a 10-year-old kid, and you have Bane wearing a trench coat and a hat, but it's just Bane, and he's like, it's Bane and Poison Ivy. Yeah, I do recall that. Bakatir, hey John, any favorite creature folklore from any culture? Creature folklore? I don't know, man. It's not, I guess it's not creature folklore, but I like how there sort of was a real Dracula at some point. Some crazy dude drinking blood. I think that's truly fascinating. But creature folklore, I don't know. Give me an example. What do you... Not off the top of my head. All right. John, still going to the gym? No, I haven't worked out in probably 2.5 months. And even before that, I probably worked out a handful of times over the last year. I don't know, man. I just didn't have motivation. 2020 was sort of like the most unmotivating time to be alive. So I want to get back into it. Kevin Gay Rebel Patriot. What a great name, Kevin. Please make an OnlyFans page. Absolutely. And it's called Patreon. Go to Patreon/FlickPick, and that is my OnlyFans. I do some crazy poses covered in baby oil from time to time, so go check that out. That's not really true, but I do have a Patreon and a cool podcast. If things get really desperate, I'll give you guys the OnlyFans. How's that? DJ Run 1, I have a dentist appointment tomorrow. Do you have any dentist horror stories? The only thing I can tell you about the dentist office that's sort of scary is I don't trust a dentist because they always try to upsell you. Like, a dentist is essentially a used car salesman. They're trying to upsell you. Like, the more issues you have, the more money they make. It's all business. So I remember one time I went to the dentist office. This was probably at least 10 years ago. And the guy looked at my teeth and he's like, oh yeah, you got like 3 or 4 cavities starting to form, but they're not quite there yet. But maybe we should, check them out and drill into them and fill them so you don't have any problems. And I was like, do we need to do this like today? And he's like, yeah, well, it's probably better. I was like, yeah, we'll wait. We'll hold off. So I went to another dentist like 6 months later. I never did it. And he's like, yeah, everything looks great. So that's the day I decided not to trust a dentist. Bucketeer, for example, like Jersey Devil, Native American Skinwalker. Yeah, man, I don't know anything about that, so I guess I don't have any folklore tales. I'm sure there's a folklore tale somewhere that my brain's not picking up on, but not off the top of my head. Night King of One. He does more detective work in Mask of the Phantasm. Yeah, he does. Batman actually feels like a detective in that. Yeah, I agree with you. Good pick, good pick. I haven't watched Mask of the Phantasm in like 3 years. Samir Batia, what are your parents' thoughts about your channel? My mom occasionally watches the live streams. She says she likes them, though she could just be being nice. Yeah, my mom, I guess she's proud of me. But then again, if she wasn't, what's she going to do? Say she's not? But no, I think she's into my YouTube channel. Claudia Rogujon. Black Mask's mask looks like crap in Birds of Prey. Yeah, it sort of looks like a... And the thing is, there was such a missed opportunity. I remember at one point in Birds of Prey where he's talking about the different masks that he has like on display in his room. And it would have been nice if the actual Black Mask had some kind of great backstory to it. Like, oh, this mask over there is like, you know, blah, blah, blah. But it just didn't. There was like no reason for it. He just puts it on. That's what I remember. I remember like there could have been something there, but there simply was not. Suicide Squad or Birds of Prey? I would probably rather rewatch Suicide Squad. At least Batman's in the movie. There's a few good action sequences. I mean, there's a dude named Killer Croc, I guess. Birds of Prey was just hard to even get through the first time. Michael, thoughts on Gymshark / Alpha Elite hype and clothing? Not a fan of their clothing, to be honest with you. I bought Everford is another clothing line similar, and I bought some. I wear a lot of joggers, and it just like they didn't fit right, and they shrunk way too much when I washed them. My recommendation, if you guys like to wear joggers, if you're like me, go to American Eagle and buy their joggers. They come in all kinds of colors, and they're not overpriced like the brands that you just mentioned. So that's what I would recommend. Woodrow Wilson. What's on true story you would like to be a film? What's a true story I would like to be a film? Ooh, man. I'm trying to think of something that hasn't been made yet. Okay, this was going to be a film. They were trying to make it a film for a minute. There's a story about this kid. He was like a teenager, and his name was the Barefoot Bandit. This is true. And this kid ran away from home, committed all these crimes. He didn't wear shoes. He lived out in the woods. He would like live in a tent. At some point, he like stole an airplane. He flew it from like Florida to the Bahamas, and then he was eventually apprehended. And he did all of this before he was like 16 years old. And I remember they were trying to make a movie out of this, and that never happened. And I was like, this would be the greatest movie ever. As long as it had some levity to it, it had some comedy to it, and it didn't take itself overly serious. I was like, that'd be a fun movie. So yeah, The Barefoot Bandit. Google it. Gary Sindhu, thanks for being an honest critic on YouTube. Well, thanks for watching, man. I try to be as honest as I possibly can. I really do. Anytime I feel like I'm holding back, I just say no. Don't hold back, John. Just say it. So yeah, thank you for that, man. Well, I'm going to try to read this name, but I don't think I'm going to do a very good job. Angela Q Villarreal. I'm so sorry. Angela Q. I love your videos. Can you do something funny? No. I tried really hard right there to come up with something funny, but I didn't have it, and I'm sorry for that. Here's a joke. What do you call Batman who leaves church? Christian Bale. That's the only thing that's all I got. Claudia Rojan. In the comics, he carved it from his parents' coffin. I don't know what we're talking about, Claudia. I don't know. What are we talking about? What did he carve? It's too late. My brain's mush right now. By the way, thanks to all 405 of you watching right now. Yay, you. Earlier, when I was talking about the Justice League, I wanted to whip out my Batman. I was going to whip out my Batman figure over there, and I forgot to do it. Now he's looking at me. Key Mess in Goldblum's voice. Now, eventually, you might. Oh God, you want me to say this in Jeff Goldblum's voice? I'm not very good. I don't do very good Jeff Goldblum impressions. Now, eventually, you might have Blu-rays on your live stream. Hello, yes, hello. Not very good at all. I know. Yeah, they're back there, man. I don't know. I'm too lazy to go get them. I'm not wearing any pants right now. I can't get up. So they're all back there. Just look at them. Look at all those glorious Blu-rays back there. Unglitch. Ever see Darkman 1999 or Darkman 1990? Yes, I've seen Darkman, of course, 1 and 2. The first, well, not the first, but yeah, Sam Raimi movie. It was bad, but can't judge it too much. The Shadow with Alec Baldwin is a guilty pleasure of mine. I hated The Shadow with Alec Baldwin. Talk about a poor man's wannabe like Batman. Darkman I liked. I liked how just weird and off-putting it was, but I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed Darkman, the first one at least. I do remember renting The Shadow with my cousin back at a VHS store when I came. I was just like, we were both bored by that movie. And fun flick fact, Alec Baldwin originally almost became the 89 Batman. Forbidden Fruit 73. Favorite John Cusack film? Favorite John Cusack movie? 2012. I'm kidding. I mean, he has such a small role in Stand By Me, but that's my favorite movie with John Cusack in it. So I'd go with that. I mean, a lot of people might say, what is it, Serendipity? Is that what it's called? It's called Serendipity, right? Or am I making that up? But yeah, I'd probably say Stand By Me because he's technically in it. Night King 01. In the comics, Black Mask carves the mask from his parents' coffin, and then it gets seared into his face. Much better backstory than Hot Topic Gangster. Oh, you're talking about Black Mask. Okay. I didn't read the... I don't read a lot of comics. Like, I occasionally read comics as a kid, just about Batman. And then in recent years, I read a few graphic novels. But yeah, so I did not know that. Okay. Interesting. Woodrow Wilson, can you rank the Indiana Jones movies? Oh, someone said 1408. Oh, yeah, Con Air. I forgot John Cusack was in Con Air. That's a good pick. I'm going to go with Con Air. Okay, if you want to be technical about it, I'll go with Con Air. No, not Serenity. I'm thinking of Serendipity. No, I'm thinking of High Fidelity. I'm thinking of High Fidelity, not High Fidelity is the movie I'm thinking about with John Cusack. It's late. I become more stupid when it gets late. All right. So oh yeah, rank the Indiana Jones movies. So I'm going to go with, I actually enjoy Raiders the most out of the original. I just like the camaraderie between, Junior. I just, I like the camaraderie, the father-son relationship in Raiders. Then I'd probably go with the first or not Raiders. My brain is melting today. The third Indiana Jones movie. Then I'd go with Raiders, which is the first. And then I'd go with Temple of Doom. And then I would go with, I mean, I don't even count Kingdom of the Crystal Skulls. So I had Kingdom of the Crystal shit at some point far in fourth place. And by the way, where's our new Indiana Jones movie? I'm waiting on it. Come on, let's go. All right, let's keep going here. Your name here. Hi, John. What famous filming location would you like to visit? Example, Tombstone, Arizona. I would like to see... I've always wanted to see the McAllister House in Chicago. If I ever go to Chicago again, I think I will try to check that out. That would be kind of cool. I'm trying to think of anything else. I mean, I've always wanted to go to Alcatraz Island, which they filmed The Rock there. I just think that'd be kind of a cool place to go. Those are a few places. I'm sure there's a few others. But really the one that I could probably realistically get to is the McAllister House. Michael, what do you think really happened with the child stars Culkin, Olsen, the Olsen twins, Shia, Lindsay Lohan, Elijah Wood, etc.? Thoughts on Hollywood? What do you mean? What really happened? Like, were they taken advantage of by some evil producer in Hollywood? I don't know. Just watch Corey Feldman interviews. I don't know. I mean, Macaulay Culkin hung out with Michael Jackson a lot, but he said nothing crazy ever happened. The Olsen twins could not tell you. I don't know where you're going with that question. A winner is after prom queen. Can you say this in a Morgan Freeman voice? The mask mandate will be lifted in Texas next week. You either get busy living or you get busy dying. My name is Morgan Freeman. Yeah, Sonny Jim. That's cool. Yeah, I know the mask mandate goes away in Texas next week. God have mercy on all of your souls. Angelique. Is it Angelique? I think that, is it Angelique? I can't read. What's your favorite movie theater moment? Thanks. Well, Angelique, I think I'm saying that right. I hope I am. Favorite movie theater moment? Man, where do I start with that? There's a lot of great, most of them, some of my favorite memories were always seeing movies with my dad back in the early 90s. That's where I saw a lot of R-rated movies years before I should have, but thanks, Dad, for taking me to those movies. And I think that's where I really started to enjoy movies and looked at them differently when I was a kid. So I can remember, oh man, I mean, I remember going to see True Lies as a kid thinking, man, this is awesome. Like, but recent movie theater memories, gosh, I'm trying to pick one that really stands out. I would say one of my favorites is I went to see The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo all by myself on a rainy, cold, dark winter night at the latest showing they possibly had in an empty theater. And I just had a big bucket of popcorn, and I just remember being so immersed into that movie and enjoying every second of it. And just like, it was so eerie sitting in that dark theater by myself watching a CD movie like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. But that was one memory that was just sort of, that lives with me. Benny, were you a fan of Full House? Yeah, I was actually. I liked Full House as a kid. I always thought Uncle Joey living in the basement was kind of weird. I don't know why. I was just like, why can't he just get his own house? Like, Uncle Jesse can stay, but Uncle Joey, I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, I liked Full House as a kid. I really did. I was actually more into like like Married with Children, I think, as a kid, though. I always thought it was so cool. Or Boy Meets World. Woodrow Wilson. My biggest guilty pleasure are Jurassic Park 3, Supergirl 1984. Ooh, man, that is... I don't know how you watch Supergirl 84. Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Come on, what are you doing? Van Helsing. Ooh, now Van Helsing, something we can agree on. I like me some Van Helsing. And the Mummy trilogy, among others. I think the first Mummy movie shouldn't even be a guilty pleasure. It's exactly what it should be. I love it. Jurassic Park 3. Jurassic Park 3 is an easy movie to watch. It really is. It's an easy movie to watch. It's not very good, but it's easy. It's easy to get through. So I understand. Last film I saw was Bad Boys 3, such a long time ago. Yeah, last movie I saw in theaters was New Mutants. I was going to see Chaos Walking just for the sake of doing a review, but then it's like no one gives a shit about that movie, and it would be a waste of time to do a review on it. It'd just be an entire waste of time, and I already know it's a bad... Like, I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to purposely go see bad movies just for the sake of making videos. Like, I could, but it's just like, then I have to watch the movie for 2 hours, and I don't want to hate my life. Okay, guys, I'm going to answer just a few more questions, and then I'm going to go lay down and think about my life. Yeah, so I'm going to answer a few more questions. I'm getting tired. Like, I did not plan on doing this today at all, but I was like, I got to talk about the leaked Snyder shit. So, Fallen Kingdom is easily the worst. Fallen Kingdom's not a real Jurassic Park movie. Fallen Kingdom is a movie that takes place in an old man's basement with some dinosaurs walking around. Like, it's not a real Jurassic Park movie. I don't know what they were thinking when they made that. New Mutants was trash and pointless. I agree. WandaVision thoughts. I only watched... I think I watched 4 episodes of WandaVision. I just did not get into it. And I think it had the first 2 worst episodes you could possibly make for that show. Like, they were just... You could just skip over the first 2 episodes and start with the 3rd episode, and it would have just been the same difference. So, my favorite episode that I did see was the Halloween episode. I thought that was fun. I liked the throwback to the 1990s. But I more or less kind of felt like I knew how it was going to end, and I knew I would be slightly disappointed. Like, it would just end on just such a note where it's like, okay, well, that didn't really matter. And I guess more or less it did. So yeah, I just wasn't into it. Now, Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm really looking forward to. I'm almost debating doing a weekly review of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'm hoping it's good. I really am. I'm looking forward to it. John, did you watch Friends? I never really got into Friends. I never got into it. I used to watch Roseanne as a kid. Sort of Roseanne and Married with Children were the most reminiscent sitcoms that related to my real life family. John, are the John Wick movies getting worse or better? They're getting worse. Easily getting worse. A lot of people hated me for my John Wick 3 review. But I stand by that. The first John Wick's great. The second one, okay. The third one, it's just like, why are we in the desert meeting Halle Berry for this like subplot story that's just boring? Like, streamline the John Wick movies. Make it about John Wick just kicking ass. I don't need all this extra stuff about the hotel and all this hitman lifestyle with coins and like some chick with a shaved head walking around with terrible dialogue. I just hated all of that. Thoughts on Superman and Lois? I haven't watched Superman and Lois. I've never been a big fan of Superman TV series. I think Superman belongs in the movies. I've heard it's good. I've heard it actually looks good, but I haven't watched it yet. John, do you watch that 70s show? I occasionally watched it. I liked the 1970s vibe of it. Night King 01, have you seen Kung Fury? Kung Fury. It's hilarious. Yeah, I'm thinking about furries right now. Yes. Yes, I did. I saw it when it first came out. I actually got the movie poster of it from the video store, but it wasn't very good. I don't think it was a good movie at all. Superman is such a bland superhero to me. Always thought that. Laugh aloud. Yeah, I get why people could say that. I think he can be interesting, but the only downside to Superman is he's too powerful. I like heroes that have flaws and weaknesses, and I don't like them to be overpowered. I like them to be able to get their ass kicked. So I've always really enjoyed. That's why I enjoy Batman so much. Like, at the end of the day, he's still just like a dude relying on his own resources and ability to get the job done. And like heroes like Punisher, like I like sort of anti-heroes in a way too. So I'm hoping Punisher comes back in a big way. G Money X, I'm tired, John. Stay magical, mystical. Well, thanks, G Money X, and have a good night, man. I'm getting tired too. Dan Morris, Whedon ruined Justice League for Disney on purpose. That's one interesting theory. I think he just came in and kind of did a half-assed job, and he's like, just give me my money. I added some levity. Let's get going here, guys. And originally, I thought that was part of a bigger deal where he was going to make a Batgirl movie as well, but that sort of fell through because Justice League was so bad. Patrick John. Hey, Patrick, how's it going, man? Hey, John, just finished work. How is your day and how is your stream going? I think things are going well. More of you join the live streams later at night than you do in the evening. It's weird. That's a weird... I don't know why, but nevertheless, thanks for watching. I know you've probably already talked about the Justice League stuff, but could I get a quick recap since I'm late? The only thing I know about it is from seeing your tweet. Well, just scroll back to the beginning of the video, man. Essentially, I just said it was leaked earlier, accidentally, by HBO, or somebody at HBO accidentally leaked it. So when you went to watch Tom and Jerry on HBO Max today, well, you got to see the at least the first hour of the Snyder Cut, in all of its glorious 4:3 aspect ratio. So yeah, that's essentially what I said. Which is, it's just like, how did that happen? Come on. I'm just curious if the full thing will be leaked tomorrow on the internet. It probably will be. I'm still trying to get a press screening of the movie. We'll see if that works out. Landon, John, I highly recommend Avatar: The Last Airbender animated series. You won't regret it. I've had so many people recommend that, and I watched a few of the episodes. I had a good friend who showed me a few of the episodes. I'm just not into it. John Michael, did you watch Batman the Animated Series as a kid? Abso-fucking-lutely I did. Now, this was the most frustrating thing when I was a kid. My school bus would take so long dropping me off that I would have to run inside to either miss 5 minutes of Batman the Animated Series or like miss it the entire show. So I always remember like barely getting home in time to watch it. But yeah, I remember watching it and craving it and consuming that show. I loved that show. That was my life as a kid. John, are you excited to see Loki? Yeah, I'm excited to see Loki. Have you seen The Flash on the CW? I've seen a few episodes. I'm not a big fan of CW series. We got one here. Okay, I'm going to make this the last question, guys. So please don't ask any more questions because I don't want to miss it. Woodrow Wilson. Oh, wait. Tim Burton's Chocolate Factory is a masterpiece. Changed my mind. I can't decide if it's a guilty pleasure or just a good movie. Well, it's neither of those. It's a chocolate shit stain that you should never watch. What a terrible movie. I mean, he made the Oompa Loompas like these little weird guys, and all the songs were so underwhelming. And I remember the Oompa Loompa scenes where they're dancing and singing. It just looked like somebody copy and pasted the same image over and over again, because that's essentially what they did. And Johnny Depp in that film just plays like the weirdest creep I've ever seen. Like, there's nothing fun about him. It's just eerie and weird. Like, there's no fun to be had in that film. When you go back and watch the originally Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Gene Wilder, like, he embodied what that role was. And plus you had the little orange Oompa Loompas. I just wanted, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to become filthy rich just so I could buy an Oompa Loompa and put them in my house. That was always my dream as a kid. Did I answer your question? I don't know. Night King 01, Roadhouse or Waterworld? Pain don't hurt. That should be a lot bigger. He's the best cooler in the biz. I'd probably say Roadhouse is more of my favorite, but Waterworld they're both guilty pleasures, but I'd say Roadhouse is just because I grew up watching it more often than not. It's just a bizarre, Roadhouse is a more bizarre concept than Waterworld, and I'll explain why. Now, in Waterworld, you have Kevin Costner drinking his own urine in a post-apocalyptic wasteland that's covered by water. Cool. I enjoy the movie. I enjoy the spectacle. But in Roadhouse, Patrick Swayze plays the best cooler in the biz. And he gets hired by some shithole bar in the middle of nowhere. And he gets paid like $2,000 a night to be a bouncer. But he's still the worst bouncer ever because the entire building gets destroyed every night. Every table, every chair is broken. Every glass is broken. So I don't know how the place didn't go instantly bankrupt the first night he worked there. But they're still paying this guy $2,000 a night to be a bouncer. How are they turning a profit? Plus, I love his hairdo in Roadhouse. It's like a great perm Patrick Swayze had. What are we talking about? Let's keep going. Okay, guys, no more questions. You guys thank you guys so much for the questions, but I need to sleep. Okay, I'm gonna answer the remaining questions. What is your Fulanato? Why can't I not read your name? Fulanato 92. Hi, John. You're a magical, mystical creature. Well, thank you. I'm not sure if you've answered this question in the last stream, but here it is. Have you seen or heard a recent A24 film called Minari? Minari? Okay. It's a beautiful and touching film that should win Best Soundtrack. Is that the best thing you can say about the film is the soundtrack? Or what about the film itself? Okay. Minari? Okay. I'm going to Google search this real quick because I've been on the lookout for something good to watch. Minari. A Korean American family moves to Arkansas farm in search of its own American dream. It's got a 98% of Rotten Tomatoes. The premise sounds like a Lifetime movie. The poster looks like a Lifetime movie, but if you say it's good, then I might give it a watch. Does it have a little bit of grit to it, or is it like a happy-go-lucky film? Looks like it stars Glenn from The Walking Dead. That intrigues me. Okay. Is it good, guys? I'll check it out. Your name here. Night Bro and movie fans. Well, your name here. Good night to you. Sweet dreams. And have a magical, mystical morning tomorrow. John, Chipotle or Hotheads? I've been to Hotheads once. I usually go to Chipotle. It's more convenient. Tron soundtrack is amazing. That's a random statement, but yes, it is. Minari was good. Someone said lame. John, do you miss Daft Punk? No, not really. We have what they did in the past. We can listen to it anytime. Bakatir, good night. John, have a good night. Don't watch it, okay? All right, guys, I'm going to wrap it up there. I am so tired. Thank you guys so much for joining me tonight for the live stream, the late night edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you could, just give the video a thumbs up. It does help the YouTube algorithm, and it does help you guys to see my videos in the future because YouTube likes to hide those things from you guys. But nevertheless, thank you for the questions, the chats. Just thanks for hanging out for a few hours, talking about movies and some other weird shit along the way. Have a good night, guys. Stay safe, sweet dreams, and I will see you guys in a few more days with another live stream. Until then, well, once again, have a good night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.